Into this video, we are going to see part 2 of how to set up a CSV file parser ETL in BHCO. To proceed with the ETL setup, we put the simple lookup CSV sample on an ETL engine in a folder where the CPIT user can read and write. Now let's set up the ETL to parse this file and import the data. Let's add a new ETL. Select generic CSV file parser. For now, we'll keep the simulation mode to do the first run. Select the sysdat dataset because we are loading system data. For now, let's keep a private entity catalog because we are doing a test. If we want to connect the existing systems with the data we import, we might want to choose a shared entity catalog. For the object relationships, we'll move all new entities into a new domain called video generic CSV file parser. Here we can proceed to set up the ETL columns. Given that our file has been already set up in a clever way, we do not have to force any CSV header because it is already present into the file. The CSV separator is gonna be a comma, so the ETL will easily identify it. The system name column is specified into data already, so we are not going to force it. The object name, again, we have a column, so we won't force it here. And the default time interval, we have a duration column, so we won't force it here. So we can just leave the default option here. For the file location, we're going to choose the local directory and the OPT BNC BCO repository video folder I just showed you before. We can choose to recurse into subdirs, which is not the case. Given that we are doing a test here, we can choose to do nothing after parse operation in case we need to repeat the execution. Otherwise, the ETL is going to simply add .done after the extension .csv to avoid non-parsing again the file. By switching to advanced mode, we will have the possibility to add additional properties that we don't need, to change the loader configuration, for example, to add a -1 here to generate a debugging CSV file. Scheduling options can be left as is because these give an advanced scheduling mask, which is not our case. And into ETL task properties, we can choose the machine where we want to run the ETL. Once this is done, we can press save and do a test run. Given that we set the ETL in simulation mode, the product gives us a warning saying the data will not be actually loaded but simply parsed and the debugging files generated. Let's try to run it and see if any error gets created. So, by checking the ETL execution, we see that the dataset is not loaded. There is something wrong within our settings or the file. Let's try to repeat the execution at an higher login level. So let's go into the ETL run configuration and set it to 10 verbose, and let's rerun the ETL. The next run still shows us dataset is empty, but by checking deeper into the logs, we see that for some reason the line is detected, but the header is not recognized. Let's make a test and verify if the file is in the correct format. If you remember, we created this file on a Windows machine. So let's convert the file to Unix format via command line DOS to Unix, and let's execute the ETL again. As you can see, the logs of the new execution have a much higher number of rows, and in the end shows the task ended in OK mode. So our simulation was successful and the file got loaded properly, potentially. Let's remove the simulation mode and lower the login level to see if we can load this data successfully. So as you can see, the warning about simulation mode now is gone. Let's rerun the ETL. As you can see, the logs say Dataset size is 8 for the sysdat, so all the 8 rows were recognized, and 2 systems and 4 relationships were created. Let's verify the data sender task as run, and see, as you can see, the data got loaded. The data sender task ran and the data got loaded. Let's go into the target domain and see if we can see the systems. Here we are in our target domain where we have system 1 and system 2 that were loaded from the CSV file. Let's check their data. And as you can see, there are samples that we can just try to chart. So the data load was successful. This ends part 2 of the video. If you want to know more details about the system lookup and the usage of multiple lookups with CSV ETLs, you can go to part 3.